is that try to always make a graceful exit from your company. Don't slam the door behind you. Don't leave burned bridges.
In any situation.
In any situation, but particularly in your job, because your job is, you spend 80% of your life at work. So I try to encourage people to not be rash in their decisions to leave, or if they know the end is coming, to take out as much intelligence and training from your company as you possibly can.
Yeah, which is so important. So, in doing this work, you know, you've been doing you do workshops,
yes,
as well as individual sessions,
yes,
and you have a workshop coming up,
right,
on November 17th,
exactly, at the North Kingstown Chamber of Commerce. It's called From Hassle to Happy, and it's my steps to make a graceful exit and to change things around in your life from being hassled every single day to being able to experience happiness. It does sound kind of corny, but I think it's a good title.
Would you say one of the things, you know, when you were writing this, when you said Ponderings of a Corporate Refugee, Observations from the Cube, and you hear a lot of conversations,
right?
Do you think part of the issue is that a lot of people gossip and badmouth each other? And that really brings the energy down because it doesn't do anything to help you. Well,
that's a huge problem in the corporate world. However, there have been also studies that say that the gossip is really a wave of information, and that people need to pay attention to it, not necessarily stab each other in the back, but if they hear rumors about things that are happening at the top, that it's important to keep your ears open.
Right, but that's not the same as putting people down.
No,
that's
not
different.
At all. Not at all. That's a huge problem. That is really what drives people to want to quit often.
So, Mary, when someone comes to you in the first session, what can they expect? I know you do a complimentary session and you have a number of sessions. What can they expect in working with you?
Well, they can expect that I'm going to ask them, the very first thing is, what would you like to explore today? Okay. So I ask that people think about a topic or think about a general subject that they want to talk about. Then we start to dive in a bit deeper, and I will ask them a series of questions. For instance, so when this session is over today, what do you expect to walk away from the session with? What do you want to get out of this session? Do you want a list of steps you need to take? Do you want to learn how to gain more confidence? Do you want to work on your self-care? Things like that. And then we'll start getting into more specific things.
But the majority of people that come to you said it's usually a work issue. Not necessarily, though, correct?
They always start off as a work issue, but after a couple of sessions, you find that there are other issues that are driving people. Low self-esteem, low motivation, as I said earlier, poor self-care, things like that.
And they're all related. I mean, you can't take your professional and your personal... You can't say, well, now this is this life and this is this life.
Right. It's interesting that you said that.
You.
Yes, exactly. It's interesting you said that. I had a session with a client a couple of weeks ago that's a new mother. And she mentioned to me that she wanted to figure out how to get her career back on track with a 4-month-old. And so I said to her, so what specifically is it that you want to accomplish here? She said, I don't understand what you mean. So I asked her that a couple of times. She didn't get it. So I finally said to her, you know what? I'm going to turn off the recording. We're not going to record this session. And I'm going to tell you now, this is advice coming from me, that you cannot cut off being a mother from your job. That once you're a mother, you're always a mother. So you're not going to be able to ignore the fact that you're a mother. And she also revealed that she's a breastfeeding mother. I said, how are you going to manage that every 3 hours? The baby's going to need to be fed.
Now, could she continue her career if she has help?
Well, that was the thing. We were talking about getting help, and she basically said she wasn't interested in doing that.
So now she has a choice to make.
So this is the other thing. There's juggling involved, and this is the other thing that gets people in trouble is when they try to handle too many things at once.
All right, we're going to have to close. However,
Okay.
I'm going to let people know that if they call you, you will give them a 20-minute free consultation.
Absolutely.
And what is the number, please?
The number is area code 401-742-1965.
Okay, 401-742-1965. Mary O'Sullivan, who is a coach. And folks, if that doesn't resonate, just write to me. If you're in the car and you can't write it down, patriciaraskin.com, and I will get you in touch with Mary right away. Mary O'Sullivan, 401-742-1965.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much.
much for being
This
on
was
the
great.
program.
Thanks, Patricia.
Thank you. All right, folks, and coming up next, we have Donna Morell, and she's going to talk about Encore programs, fellowships for people over 50, kind of along the same vein. All right, you're listening to The Patricia Raskin Show, brought to you by Mary O'Sullivan, this segment, right here on News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM WPRO. We're the voice of Southern New England. We'll be right back.